Hi everyone, it's Kim. Thanks for joining me. Last time we looked at Karen Burniston's latest collection and we focused on the stage pop-up die, the 3 add-ons that coordinate with the stage pop-up. We also looked at the hot air balloons and a few of the new stamp sets. And today I want to focus on the remaining dies in this latest collection. And we're going to start with the Thank You Lorna add-ons. And there's 2 new add-ons for the Lorna Label Pop-up. So we have Thank You, which we're going to look at first. We do need to have the base die. So we have the pop-up that is on the inside. So that's the Lorna Label Pop-up. And let's take a look at the card. So on the outside, I just kept it fairly simple. We have these floral, the flower and the leaves. So I just kept it simple on the outside and I added a few more different flowers from another one of Karen's sets. And then when I open it up, we've got that great pop-up. And this time it has the thank you sentiment on it. And there is a stamp set that coordinates with this die, and it is called Thank You Phrases. And I used You're the Best down here. You could also stamp along this pop-up, the front of the pop-up, and we'll look at doing that in just a minute. But I do like the thank you stamps because I could use these with other cards too, not just with the Lorna Label pop-up. This time I chose to cut out basically the background of the Lorna label, and this piece is the piece that I cut out from that, and I just used it for the sentiment. Then I can write my personal note there. The flowers are from the thank you add-on, and I just simply decorated this. I love this die set because it gives it a punch when you open it up, but it's very, very simple to construct and to put into your card base. On the outside, I used the flowers and bees, or flowers and bee, I should say, from Karen Burniston, just to make a simple floral decoration on the outside of the card base. Now, you do not have to have the pop-up die. I mean, if you want the pop-up, you have to do that. But I was able to use this die on its own on the outside of a card base. So let me show you what I did there. And then for the inside here, this cuts this out without a background. So for the background, I did use the Lorna Label die. And there's 3 different dies here, or 2 different dies that can either cut out the base Lorna Label pop-up, or you can cut out just a solid piece, and that's what I did here to fill in on the background here for the thank you cutout. And then I just used the flowers again. And my little banner comes from the main Lorna Label die set. And then It Truly Means a Lot is again from the thank you phrases, new in this collection. So I will get a lot of use out of the thank you pop-up or add-on. And then there is another one called Love You. And this would have been ideal for Valentine's Day, but we're going to use it in a different way since Valentine's is over. Again, this is an add-on for the Lorna Label pop-up, just like the thank you is. So we can use it with the pop-up die, or if we just want to use it like on the outside of a die or outside of a card, we can do that. So let's start with that. We're just going to use it on the outside of a card. And I used all the pieces, the love you, the little flowers, and all the different hearts that are in this set, and there's quite a few. And my base is from a nesting set, I believe from Spellbinders. I just had this laying in my card stash or in my paper stash, so I didn't pull the die. I didn't go dig that out. But this is open on the back side, so you see this red base, just like it is here on the packaging. And it too has its own stamp set. And this is called Love You Phrases. Again, I love these. You could use these with any card that you're making that you want to use I love you. So if I had this on the inside, I would just put love you every single day. Again, different phrases. That's what I really, really like about it. But of course, then I want to do one that's a pop-up on the inside. So I thought this would be great for an anniversary card, or just, if you want to send somebody a love you card that isn't necessarily for Valentine's Day. But I thought, let's have some fun with this. So I'm like, what could I do to kind of go crazy? I knew I had wild. I thought, I'll make a wild thing. I knew I had this little monster. And so this time, my little monster says, love you in all the little ways. And it's just a different look, a different way to use the die set. This time I have it on the base and I cut out the inside of that Lorna Label Pop-up in white and just layered all those pieces up in all the little ways. It's from the stamp set, so you can see how perfectly it fits on the front of that pop-up. And then this piece is this like white die, set or die piece cut out again, just to coordinate with the colors that I used. So if you want the pop-up, you got to have the Lorna Label pop-up. If you want to use it without, you can just use it on like the top of a card base. So these two sets, the thank you and the love you, now add to the previous add-on sets. We had happy birthday, just a note, and Merry Christmas. So now we have 5 add-on sets for the Lorna Label. So that is getting really good use out of one base pop-up. For the gold Go Wild, let me show you how I did that real quick for wild things. I had wild from the Go Wild set, and then I needed to make the word thing. So I went through and I looked. I always like cut the letters out of different things. I had Happy Spring. So when I was going through that, I thought, okay, there's my ING and there's my H. All I need now is a T. And so as I was going back through, I found thank you. And it's not the exact same font, but it's close enough. It works with that. Originally, before I ran into Happy Spring, I thought I could use this one because I have THIN and then I have G for the thing. It's much smaller font to go with wild, but if I needed to use that, I could make it work. So that's how I came up with wild thing. And then my little monster, I knew I had this from Spellbinders. I just like this little guy. This is the Dancing Birthday Monster. And if you didn't have this, you could pick out something else out of your stash that you might have that would be kind of a monster or whatever character you might want to use. And then for my little hearts that he's holding on to, that is from the new Love is in the Air Charm set from Karen. So this is new in the collection. We did look at this last time with the hot air balloon, but there's all those little bitty hearts that are dropping out of his hand. So I was able to use several new dies, plus dies that I already had in my set. Another new one, let me show you the card, because I love this one, uses a previous die set as well. So this is the beautiful Peacock set. You were never meant to be ordinary. And when we open it up, our pop-up is a beautiful peacock. And this one, Strut Your Stuff, is also from a new stamp set that coordinates with this die. So the peacock is an add-on set, and it's called Peacock Add-on. So we've got the beautiful feathers and then the body of the peacock. And then for this, we've got the one pop-up piece, which is the front half of the peacock, but we need the back half of the piece, and that is the arch pop-up. So we basically combine these two pop-up dies and then add the feathers to them. So it was very simple to do. Now I'm going to flip this over so you can see from the back side. There's the arch, and then here's the piece from the new add-on set. But take away those feathers, and I'm sure we're going to see some other great creations out there where we use the arch and the back of the peacock, but not for a peacock. So I'm waiting to see, what pops up for some of those ideas. And then the stamp set again is new in this latest collection. This is called Strut Your Stuff. So ideal for the peacock. I know we used this in a couple cards last time, but Strut Your Stuff is in here, and You Were Never Meant to Be Ordinary. And I think some of these are great to use even without the peacock. And then for my labels here, for this label on the front and my little square label and tag on or banner on the inside is from Greeting Labels. This is from her previous collection. So this is still a very new die, a new die set that coordinates with so many of all of her pop-ups and just regular dies. So I do love the peacock. And I have other peacock dies that I could use for the front of this if I want to do something other than the feathers. But the feathers are a really nice size. And everything's easy to put together. Yes, it takes a little time to cut those out, but very easy card to put together. And then the final one, the final new pop-up is called the Photo Gallery Pop-up. And you could see on the packaging they've used photos, but you can use this with really anything that you want. There are some frames that fit each of the two panels here. So there's a larger panel and a smaller panel. You can use them together or separate. So let me show you mine. Now, the Karen does not have out yet when I made this the instruction video of how to put this together, but I just followed the instructions on the back side. So let me show you mine. I did make this an anniversary card because I didn't have any photos to put on here. And when I open it up, you're going to see that I've got a little catch right there. So I cannot wait till she brings her video out so I can see kind of what I need to do with some hints so I don't have a little catch. But I used instead the stamps that are designed to go with this die set, love notes, and they're all little squares so you can see how perfectly they fit on those little frame pieces. And I tried to make mine say something. So I have just a note to say, love is in the air, with you is where I want to be, happy anniversary. But you can use any of these, mix and match, use them with photos. And then I just use the small die cuts that are from the Love is in the Air charms and just kind of mixed and matched those to hopefully somewhat coordinate with those stamps. But this was not difficult to put together. But again, I look forward to seeing Karen's video so I don't have a catch right there because I know I don't have this one in there probably quite in the right position. Now, normally, and why I didn't do it this time, I do know why, because I was just trying to get this done and I was trying to skip a step. I make my just kind of white card base. I'll keep this in the die set. But again, I played around with this for quite a while. This piece, I could follow the instructions on the back of the packaging. It has a specific place to go, so it doesn't go outside the card base. And your card base needs to be 5.5 inches wide this way. And when I look at the packaging, I think I need to make the height of my card a little taller. And now it doesn't say in here, it doesn't mention the height of the card. It just mentions what the width needs to be. But when I look at this, I'm thinking I need to make this a little taller. And then I probably wouldn't have this problem. And this is just has glue dots on it here. When I do the real card, I would definitely glue or tape that die, that pop-up down and not just use glue dots. But I keep moving this around, playing with it, because you can see how close that front piece is. Well, when I look at the picture, I don't think it's really that close. So I do look forward to seeing Karen's instruction video on how this goes together, and then I can make my corrections on this template And then in the future, I'll know exactly where to put this front piece. But in the meantime, I just use the instructions on the back. And then again, this is a pretty much generic pop-up base for any occasion. And then I can use one or both of these little pop-up pieces. So that is the remainder of this latest collection from Karen. Some great pop-ups. 2 of the cards use dies from previous collections. So I love that we can continue to add on, and we're not just always getting new, and we never go back to the dies that we have invested in previously. This gorgeous peacock, and then we can use the Lorna Label add-ons just on the front of a card if we so choose. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again in a future video.